What is up, and welcome into the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined as always by my outstanding co-host. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He was all swag. It's Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And he's the NFL draft analyst for NBC Sports Chicago. You can catch all his work at NBCSportsChicago.com and the My Teams app. It's Glenn Morgan. He's our GM. Gentlemen, it's been a while. Welcome back. Good to see you guys' faces here. Hear your voices.
Definitely. And
yes,
clearly it's been a while. You forgot to introduce me also as a reigning Madden champion. I mean, come on, man. Madden's getting ready to drop in about a week. You know, we can't forget that now. I mean, come on, man. I want a
football season is here.
Wait. I'm forgetting all about Madden. We are T-minus 11 months from from EA Sports college football dropping. That's the big thing here. So I ain't even mentioning Madden. But yeah, it's good to be back, man. I caught that vid and was out of it for a while, but I'm feeling good back now. So
good to be healthy and back.
Yes, sir. I've been looking forward to talking to you guys. Yes, and we got a lot to talk about. A lot on our plate now.
Peak season is approaching.
Yes, sir. Since we last
gambling season, right? That's what you're about.
That too.
Yes.
That too. I haven't touched them betting apps. I know soon as football, I'm gonna be right back on.
I got an alert the other day saying, "Hey, college football season is on the way. We got a little promo for you." So the PointsBet app will be up and about in a few short weeks here. But since we've been gone, NFL teams reported for training camp. That includes our Chicago Bears, and I think this is going to be a memorable camp for one Ryan Poles here. His inaugural campaign with the Bears, and I don't think it's starting off the way that he would like it. Roquan Smith is holding in, as they said, yeah. Which I think this is the first time I've ever heard.
First time.
I've never heard holding in before.
Like, so he's heard load management. Like, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. But he's showing up to camp, but he's just not participating because of his the contract struggles that are going on right now. Him and the Bears have not been able to come to an agreement. And so the Bears actually, I think they tried to do him a favor by putting him on the PUP list so that he would come out and, you know, at least meet with the team and, you know, be a part of activities without actually participating. Well, Roquan came out saying that, hey, the Bears aren't negotiating in good faith. This is, you know, I want to sign a deal, and they're not coming with a proposal that is good enough. He announces that, and then the Bears release him or take him off of the PUP list, and now have the option if they want, because he has been medically cleared to play. If they want, they can fine him if he does not participate in practices. Today, he did not participate in practice. There was no word on whether or not there would be a fine or anything. But this is sloppy, man. This is, like I said, it's a bad look, I think, for Ryan Poles coming out. I think honestly, it makes him look weak, I think.
Okay. What you
in
think?
My opinion,
makes him look weak.
Weak, yeah.
By he, you talking Ryan Poles?
Ryan Poles, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of thought I'm not gonna say it make him look weak. I don't know if it makes him look strong. I feel like he's trying to set a precedent or something. I don't know. I haven't really been following it too tough. Every time I see an update, it's like something different is happening. Right. He feels disrespected. Then he's showing up. Then the contract they did offer him is backloaded. then it's just all type of crazy stuff. My personal opinion, when I first saw it, I was like, damn, here we go with some BS. And then I was like, you know what? F it. We ain't going nowhere. Trade them. Let's get some assets. Like,
well,
let's get some assets for them. We ain't going nowhere no time soon.
True.
How about we regain everything we lost during the last regime? but of course, you do not want to lose a guy like that, though.
No,
man. You don't. You don't want to. He's been great for us in his tenure of the last regime. He has been the only bright spot. I mean, outside of our quarterback, who I mean, that's 1 year, so I don't count him with them per se, I should say. But I kind of stand with, like, man, if he's clear with the mindset of trade him, I say trade him. I say trade him. I think I'm just over the notion of this of the Bears being the same year after year. We tend to have a strong linebacker, and everything else ain't shit. So how about we change the mold? How about we try to change the image? So I don't know. Let's move to Arlington Heights and change everything. I don't know. I mean, it's the Bears. It's hey.
I feel your exasperation. I can understand speaking in exasperated tones. As a Bears fan and one that's been my entire life, there are times it's very difficult to even watch the Bears play. I've said that many times on our previous podcast. That being said, Roquan is 25 freaking years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's approaching the prime of his career. He's not even really at it yet. He's at the beginning part, that ascension to being one of the most prolific middle linebackers currently playing, and has the potential to be one of those historically for the Bears at the pace that he's going at. He is a versatile do-it-all linebacker. He's a middle linebacker who can play in coverage. He can play sideline to sideline. He can get off blocks. He can sack, and he definitely can make tackles. Had 163 last year. 3 sacks and 1 interception. He's 2-time second-team All-Pro, back-to-back years. Here's a guy, and if you read his Twitter comment about how he's feeling about the situation, and I'm going to assume that he wrote that. I don't see why I should assume that he didn't. Very eloquent.
He didn't write that.
Okay, well, hey, he spoke it. I'll put it that way.
And not to say that he couldn't. Not to say that he couldn't.
I don't know that he didn't wrote it. I write it.
Nah, I'll keep going. I'm gonna tell you why he didn't write it in the set.
But he's also serving as his own agent. So clearly it's not a matter of academia or having the wherewithal. So I think he is a very astute young man. Okay. Now, all that being said, he is a guy who, and if you again going by his Twitter statement, guy who grew up in Georgia, but linebacker is in his blood, and he understands that history of linebackers here in Chicago, particularly at the same position that he plays. Okay, so he's aware of that. And here's a guy who went to voluntary veteran minicamp. He went to the minicamp in April. He went to the OTAs in May. He went to the mandatory veteran minicamp in June. So it's not like he's some dude who says, I'm going to play hardball and just sit out right away. He was making those concessions. So he was acting in good faith. Okay. Yeah. The deal that Pohl sent him was kind of a BS deal. Okay. And it's not one that's going to actually make him the highest player at his position. It's going to be around maybe 15 million. And I think Roquan may want around 20 million. So there's some wiggle room in between there. But they put de-escalators in his contract, okay? And it's one that basically it was going to affect the market at linebacking position. And so Roquan is aware also, because he has to be, because he does his own contracts. He's aware of how that's going to affect not just him, but the other players in his position. So it's also an NFLPA situation that he understands as well, okay? So he's feeling as though they're not acting in good faith. And they give him a take it or leave it type kind of attitude that seems to be pervading from the front office. So I don't understand why the Bears have an issue paying him, because you have quarterback, but in your defense, generally your quarterback in your defense is your middle linebacker. Okay. If it's not your middle linebacker, sometimes it might be the safety position, but your middle linebacker is generally your quarterback on defense. You've got a potential face of the franchise on offense, potential. And you clearly have who is the best player. Now, I know you said he is probably the only player on the team from the last regime. I wouldn't say he's the only one, but I say he's the best of the ones from that regime. I think David Montgomery's been pretty good, and I think Johnson at cornerback's been pretty good as well from the previous regime.
Yeah, very
but Roquan is the best of those remaining players. And just like what Ed said, it is setting a bad precedent and a bad taste, because the other players are watching. Like, if you're going to treat our best player who's at a point where he's earned what he's asking for, and you have the money, because the Bears have enough caps, because they didn't pay anybody really this year, and our quarterback's on his rookie contract, so the money's there, and the Bears plan to have more money next year. I get that, but it's not like you don't have enough millions. If it's say you pay him 17.5 or 18 and take the de-escalators out, or whatever it is, there's ways you can do this. But by trying to play hardball unnecessarily, so is what it seems like. That's the thing that just seems to really be sticking in my craw. This seems to be unnecessary. Like, why would you not want this player to be on your team?
And that's why I say I don't know if he seems soft. I think he's more so trying to be tough, in a sense that
which makes him look soft. He doesn't need to.
Okay. If you say it in that aspect, yeah. Because I'm like, he doesn't need to. Like,
well, the other problem is you're talking at a position that isn't a market-breaking position. It'd be different if you're talking like cornerback or defensive end or left tackle or quarterback, or as we've seen over the last past offseason, wide receiver. Those are money-breaking type positions. Like what Roquan is asking for, you can facilitate. You really can. Well,
and let's not forget the salary cap is about to go up.
Exactly. Tremendously.
Yes. So there's going to be plenty of space to sign an inside linebacker to a lucrative deal.
You can pay him now.
You can do it right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Before he gets to sniff how much money you're really going to have, that's for even more. It seems like you're making a problem that you didn't have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this should be a slam dunk. It basically comes down to Roquan is one of the top 3 inside linebackers in the game, right?
Easily.
All right. 2 of those 3 have already gotten their deals done, right? So, and that's Darius Leonard and Fred Warner in San Francisco, right?
I'd almost say DeMario Davis might be as good, if not better, than those guys for the Saints. But yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
They're saying he wants Shaquille.
He wants Shaquille Leonard. That's Darius Leonard.
Yeah, Darius Leonard. It's same.
Yeah. He's going by Shaquille now.
Right.
Man, shows what I know.
So it should be a slam dunk, an easy contract, which is probably why Roquan is going without an agent. I might as well save that 3% because this should be relatively easy to negotiate. Should be simple. Well, I think the Bears are seeing him not having an agent as
trying to take advantage.
A way for them to try to take advantage of him,
which makes him look weak.
Right.
Well, to your point,
and I think that's what's going on here. And it's
shady.
It's not right. It's not right, man.
That's the main.
It's not
thing.
right.
Shady.
So Roquan did what he needed to do by putting out the I guess it was a tweet.
Yeah, it was a tweet.
But it was released through Ian Rappaport, though.
Right.
All right. Which is why I say he didn't do it on his own. And I don't want to put it out there like it's, there's no way, Roquan Smith is not smart enough to do that. No, that's not what I'm saying. He absolutely is smart enough to do it. But there were points made in that tweet or whatever the manifesto, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the release that somebody was looking out for him, saying, "All right, you need to hit this point here. You're from Macon, Georgia. You love the Bears fans. You understand the lineage of Bears linebackers." He brought up, out of everybody in there, I get Singletary I get
Wilbur Marshall, the one you
Wilbur
talking
Marshall.
about.
I get, or yeah, that's what I was going. Wait. I said I get Wilbur Marshall. I get Singletary. I get Urlacher. I get Briggs. I get Butkus. He brought up Wilbur Marshall, which is a great name. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But somebody else said, yeah, you should throw Wilbur in there because he was, he was that dude on 85 Bears. But no, I thought it was smart. And then if you notice, Adam Schefter came out and basically was being the talking point for the Bears, saying that the Bears gave him, an offer that, a fair offer, which clearly is not true.
Yeah.
Because everything is backloaded. And so that, when you backload those contracts, NFL contracts aren't guaranteed. So yes, It may say that this deal is worth over $100 million.
Shoot,
but you may not see it.
You can get rid of.
You may not see it all.
Plus the de-escalators that are in.
Exactly. So yeah, this is a bad look for the Bears. They need to figure this out really quickly. Like you said, if they're gonna trade them, Go ahead.
But see, you're not going to get much.
But you're not going to get there. That's the problem. Well, wait. I got a question for you guys. When did inside linebacker become a dime a dozen position? Like running back.
Most of the league runs a 3-4.
So that's what it is.
That or if they're not running 3-4s, they're running a lot of nickel, and a lot of inside linebackers don't necessarily have the coverage skills. So your middle linebacker, your inside backer, your guys who are your tacklers, so to speak, that don't have the coverage skills kind of don't get the same play like they used to. So it's as opposed to running backs where they're a dime a dozen, because you have a lot of running backs. You have 2-3 running backs that you use. Here, middle linebackers or your inside linebackers don't play as much per se because there's so much nickel. So you're having strong safeties or nickel slots, or playing nickel, or you got linebackers who you got to be like Edmonds, for Buffalo. Because Buffalo kind of plays a 5-2, to be quite honest with you. And so, you got a guy that can, play, he can tackle, but he's big enough, but he's athletic enough to play outside. So your true inside linebackers, the middle linebackers, the 4-3 type linebackers, those guys, almost like a fullback in a sense. You don't see them like you used to.
But Roquan's a guy that's not coming out during in a nickel package.
Exactly, which is why this doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Which is why it's like you being petty for no reason. Here's the one thing someone said that they put out there, and it was like a point toward the new administration or Eberflus specifically, as opposed as reluctance, and that is, can Roquan fit in Eberflus' system? And my response to that is, if you can't assess his talent before you took over the organization, knowing he was going to be there, and if by now you were not able to have assessed his talent that you would know definitively whether or not he could or can't, then I think you don't know how to assess talent. And now I start to question your ability to assess talent, because just like you said, you can see that he can drop in coverage. He's got no problem. He can play sideline to sideline. He can diagnose plays. He's not coming off the field. So how could he not work in a 4-3 when you actually have two defensive tackles that keep the blockers off of you, as opposed to in the 3-4 where you kind of sometimes have to shed blockers more so than you would in a 4-3, where the two inside tackles can kind of run, interference in that regard. I would think a 4-3 situation would benefit Roquan.
Well, it depends on what they're running.
But we've seen this.
Are you shooting gap? Are the tackles shooting gaps? Or is it gap control? That's
right. But we've seen this defense. Eberflus's defense is basically very similar to Lovie Smith's defense that was run here. Very similar. And we've seen Darius.
So then they're shooting gaps then. Which means they're not going to keep offensive linemen off of. Even if they don't, they run some interference. But we've seen Roquan be effective in the 3-4.
True that. Get off blocks. Yeah. So again, it's like you're trying to find a reason to not pay a dude a few more $1 million. It just seems like you're making a problem unnecessarily so, because you could galvanize the players that are here or garner more of their acceptance of this new regime by taking care of this dude. I just don't see it. I just don't understand.
I'm just starting to believe the NFL has a mandate for certain organizations to just always be crap. how do we keep just continuously? How do we just continuously do dumb shit? How? Like how? You knew, like you knew, and already, same old Bears. Just I don't get it.
Well, here you said something earlier, B, about be different. Have the Bears maybe go different ways. Always defense and linebackers and such. I think it kind of goes counter to what you're saying, but the Bears are the Bears. I mean, like that's the blood. It's like when you think of Pittsburgh, you're going to think defense first. There are a lot of offensive players, but at the end of the day, it's that Pittsburgh defense. You know what I'm saying? And when you think, the Bears, most of the players in the Hall of Fame that are Bear players, I think it's about 20, 25 or 26 players. Majority of those guys are the defensive guys.
Yeah.
And
it's 28. Most in the NFL, yeah.
Okay, so it's 28 now. So yeah, right, because Urlacher and I guess whoever else went in.
That's 29 next year. 29.
And Culver, who's going in next year?
Hester.
You think so? You want so? You know so?
I think so, but I want to say I know so.
Okay, all right. So fair enough. The Bears are approaching 30. Be the first franchise
after Hester. It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while.
We talking about who could be our next Hall of Fame.
But this guy could be that.
That's
guy.
what I'm saying. We're talking about
who
could be our next Hall of Fame.
So it's so much. I mean, it's goofy because his position, what he plays, how he's been, it's tied to Bear tradition, and Bear fans, true Bear fans, lifelong Bear fans know that. You got to get the defense right. And the way they drafted the first two picks with defensive players. So it's like, it's endemic. So why would you not want the quarterback and the defense to be there? I don't get it. It seems really petty. And it seems like it's self-sabotaging.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It just seems like we do this to ourselves. All reports before this I've heard was how camp was going really good. Like outside of our receivers, new receivers getting injured.
Tevin Jenkins.
And Tevin Jenkins,
right.
Outside of that, and even that story kind of got back on track. Like where kind of things got settled or something, whatever. But it was like everything was going good. Fields looked like he's going to have a improving year from last year. Everyone talking about how Eberflus practices are so much tougher than last year. They're working so much harder. It was like, and then boom, nope, can't be too much good talk. We got to do something to keep Bears fans rattled. We can't get them too high. Like, that's not how them anticipating a great season. No, we got to keep them with the realistic expectations. Okay, Roquan, no deal. What the? Come on, man. It's like self-sabotaging, but like it's done. And what's the reason behind it?
I don't know, because you're not going to get. Generally speaking, even if like you said before, trade them. I don't know if you're getting multiple picks, and if you do get multiple picks, they're going to be low. Like the highest you might get might be a third round, like a high third round pick, and maybe like a fifth.
You don't think you can get a first rounder for Roquan?
No, not that position, dude. Not at the position. No, I don't.
Wow,
which is crazy. I mean, hey, if you find a sucker out there, that's great.
Damn.
But if I'm a GM,
I honestly don't want a first round pick for him because
it's hard to find a guy like him.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, I don't know. Just go to Georgia these days.
He's 25.
If you go to Georgia, you can probably find a linebacker.
Yeah, that's true.
They seem to be turning about a mile a minute.
Yeah, Georgia and Alabama, you can find some guys.
I don't trust Alabama linebackers as much. They kind of fizzle in the pros. But yeah, generally speaking, it's tough to find someone that can do everything he does and do it as well as he's done. And as passionately as he's done. And consistently. That's the other thing too. It's not like he has a great game and then he disappears. He's gone for 2 or 3 weeks and then he has a great game. You know what I'm saying? Where it balances out. He's pretty much that same player, like pretty much week in and week out. And he's like that consistent 300 hitter. You know, like he's gonna hit 300 every season, and it's tough, man, in a position like that. And he's been, knock on wood, he hasn't had a serious injury at this point. So you're getting a relatively durable player and approaching his prime, and it just, like I said, you make him problems you already have.
Pay the man.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a game this weekend, by the way. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming to town. Are you expecting anything from the first string offense? Is there anything in particular you want to see from them?
Will they play?
Yeah, they will. No, he said Eberflus said they're going to play.
Okay. Yeah, they kind of have to because everything's new.
No,
might not play much, but they're going to at least a series, if not maybe two. But what I want to see is, I want to at least see two to three downs, or how can I say it? Or what I'm looking for. I don't want to see 3 and out. I want to be able to see at least make like 2 or 3 first downs. I want to see some movement. I want to see that they can execute a running play without a problem, where you can get 3-4 yards. I want to see an execution of a screen pass, and I want to see a slant pass. Crap, we didn't really see that much. It's very, very simple things, but I want
things that the last regime thought were idiotic. Okay.
Right. All right. But and my point being, I want to be able to see them execute basic plays and then repeat that execution. If they can do that, I'll feel better, and then build on that towards the end of the preseason, where what I want to see is, can you pass protect well enough on a passing down, like it's 3rd and 6, it's 3rd and 7. Everyone knows you're going to pass. Can you set up enough of a wall so the quarterback doesn't have to scramble? Can the receiver get off of press coverage? And can the quarterback not hesitate and not hold on to the ball longer than these two and throw? Whether or not you complete the pass, that's gravy, but I want to be able to see, can you get off press coverage? Can you block long enough so he can throw the ball? Can you make a decision and then throw the ball? And if you catch it, fantastic. And defense, whatever. And I don't want to see someone throwing in double coverage. I don't want to see him hesitating. I don't want to see him running before he needs to. I don't want to see him running out of a pocket and then causing himself to be tackled. And I want to see ball security. So those are some basic things I want to see. And you can see that in the first game, but I definitely don't want to see the negative aspects of what I mentioned by the third game. I want to see progression. I'm not worried about the defense.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see everything's going to be vanilla. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I don't want what happened to the Bears last preseason against the Bills when Mitchell Trubisky came in and looked like Joe Montana out there. But yeah, I'm not too worried, especially since our star inside linebacker won't be playing. But sorry, I didn't mean to go back to that.
No, hey, it is what it is. Great point. I mean, plus we're not even if Roquan was playing, I pass, I can say first 1 or 2 possessions. I don't want to see him out there past that because that is your best player. Same thing with, Jalen. I mean, yeah, I'm not first game. I want to see people get healthy. I want to see enough of the players that we don't know about. I want to see how good they are.
Hey, Smoke, you brought up the injuries with the wide receivers. Mm-hmm. There's some guys out there right now.
Yeah.
Do you think they should sign one of these free agents that's out there?
Like who?
That's a flyer.
Like who?
I know.
Will Fuller's out there.
Will Fuller's out there.
He ain't gonna play anyway.
Odell Beckham's out there.
Stop.
Won't have him until the guys we got injured come back.
Odell's like, I'm not coming to Chicago.
He ain't coming to the cold.
Yeah, you don't want to play. You don't want to play for the great Justin Fields.
No, Odell's like whatever.
But he won't.
He might go to Dallas.
Yeah, but he won't be. But he won't be available to all these teams who need receivers. Receivers will be back. So that's the thing with Odell.
Odell might go to Dallas. You should think about going to Dallas or going back to the Rams.
That wouldn't be a bad move.
He either go back to the Rams Well, he gonna go to Tampa.
How? I'm
They got
sorry.
enough money.
We
They
bring
got
up the
Watch.
Rams. How the hell do the Rams continue to get all these guys and stay under the cap? How's
Because they don't care
Wait,
about
they're
the first
under
round
the
picks.
cap?
Well,
They're
well,
under the
they-
cap?
enough to sign
enough
anybody.
to sign and play?
Yeah, but
I thought they just didn't give a damn about the cap and was like paying the tax or something.
No, that's baseball. There's a hard cap for football. No, dude, you look at the rest of the roster. There's a lot of no-name guys on that roster, and because they don't have, they like. I think they had a shirt where it was like F first round picks or something like that. They had some kind of shirt where it was like they don't care about first round picks, dude. They haven't had a first round pick, I think, in like since they drafted Goff. I think that was the last first round pick that they used when they drafted a player with their first round pick. Everything else they've been trading away.
So how does that work?
What do you mean?
I've always been under the assumption that, man, you need to have first round picks just to.
If you think about it, if you remember, I think you might be old enough to remember, the Washington used to be Redskins when Bobby Beathard was a GM. They got rid of their first round picks too, and they were getting better. And this was like before free agency the way it is now. And they were
talking about the 80s.
Yep, in late 80s. And to a point, and they went to a couple late 80s, early 90s, and they went to a couple of Super Bowls, and they I think they won. Well, the Gibbs won 3, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he won 3.
Yeah, they were getting rid of their first round picks too. They're like, no, because back then, it was like it's going to take too long to develop. We get the veteran players, blase Skippy, and it's not like the Patriots really did well with their first round picks during their
They didn't
their
do
run.
well at all with them.
No, they really didn't. Like maybe the offensive linemen and some of the defensive linemen work, like Richard Seymour, who's in the Hall of Fame, Vince Wilfork, maybe a couple of others, but like at the skill positions.
Well, no,
Nope.
The first receiver Belichick took was N'Keal Harry.
N'Keal Harry.
And
Got a fresh start with us. And now he's out.
He's out.
I was really looking forward to seeing him play.
I think he still has a shot at playing. I mean, I actually
Well, he's
out.
He's out for like 8 weeks now, though.
That's still a shot of playing.
That means he's not gonna be available till October.
Do you
Week
think there are that
5?
many great players in front of him that he won't get a chance to play?
But he has to then get himself into shape and all that. By that point, it's gonna be December.
Okay, it's still a shot to play. I didn't say he play a whole year. He's got to have a chance to play. Potentially, we'll see. Maybe he's a fast healer. We'll find out.
No, I wanted to see that one work. I mean, for a 7th round pick, I mean, it is what it is. But
Right.
I want to see that work.
Look, Velus Jones looks like he might be a decent slot receiver. He's got the speed.
You just say that because he's from Tennessee.
Doesn't hurt. He is a Tennessee Volunteer. Go Vols. And Equinemius seems as though, and he's got a bit of a head start because he's been in that system.
Yeah, he knows the offense. Yeah,
right. He knows the offense, so that can be helpful. And he's a tall receiver. I like the fact that they got some tall receivers. And they want to get a few guys with some height to help your quarterback, because I hate seeing the guy have to throw to guys my height out there in the field. Can be a little difficult at times when you ask the guy to be super accurate for some dude you can't really see over the line. So I think these guys, and again, as much as Ryan Poles is annoying me with the Roquan thing, he and Eberflus have pretty much done what they said they would do. They're pretty transparent about how they want to construct this team. And again, like I said before, a lot of the onus of the offense is going to be on the running game. And I think that'll help the offensive line because you don't have to sustain blocks. As you're a former offensive lineman, when you get a chance to tee off and hit somebody, I think you much rather do that than be hit most of the game.
You can't be an offensive lineman and want to pass block more than you want to run block.
Exactly. And I think that might help. I don't know, just speculation. I think that might help the line gel a little more quickly than it would be if they have to constantly be thinking about what they're doing as opposed to just acting and reacting and acting, being more, proactive and assertive with what they're doing as opposed to having to, react or, be passive in terms of pass blocking. And we've got some depth at running back, and all the running backs can run and catch the ball. So that's going to be very helpful.
You know what I saw? I like the fact I saw somewhere that they were implementing some I formation stuff.
Yes. I like that. Get a fullback.
Man, it's
unlike the guy before who said I wasn't brought here
Right.
to run the I formation when he ran the I formation in a game that actually worked.
Hey, it's been a lot of shots fired at the pass during this camp. Did y'all hear when Mooney said we're doing a lot more like scramble drills? Like we didn't do that before. Like so, we're actually working on when Justin goes into scrambling.
With his
what
strength
do we
is
do?
scrambling.
As,
yeah. We don't work on that though.
I'm like, man, they're throwing so many shots. Like it's insane. Like, golly, we were just so incompetent as a team. Oh my God.
And just think, for 1 year, we actually liked the guy.
Yeah.
You're not my best friend. My best friend called him out game 1 against Green Bay.
Against Green Bay, they
should have won that game.
They should have won the game.
And
but
towards the tail end, he didn't get the ball back to Jordan. He had just broke off a big run. They could have got closer, so the field goal would have been a better attempt. And then he did something goofy where my best friend was like, see, that's what I was afraid of. He's the smartest guy in the room again. He's like, just watch. And yeah, we had a good season, but that season wore on.
I thought the first game, the Green Bay game, they showed promise. And the fact that freaking Khalil Mack came in and dominated everybody. Yeah. But I thought they showed promise.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
Detroit game.
Wait, which one was that?
Probably the second one where they thought they were the smartest guy in the room. And then the Giants game right before the half. There were a lot of indications where he was.
No. I was going to say the Dolphins game.
Dolphins game. Okay, yeah, that too.
Where he settled for a 53-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry. We
digress
on the Matt Nagy. Those days should be forgotten about.
Right.
Now.
Hey, we are working through our trauma.
Okay. He's coming to town. He's on the Chiefs coaching staff.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure he's looking forward to that.
Oh, man. It'll be fun if he gets booed. Never heard of assistant coach getting booed.
He runs out on the field. Boo.
Nagy, you suck.
But no, I'm looking forward to game 1. I don't know if I'm looking forward to this season per se, but it'll be good to see some.
Oh, you mean as a Bear fan?
As a Bear fan, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I'm looking. I think this season will be a phenomenal season. I think it'll be one of the most. I think it will be the most spectacular seasons we've seen in quite some time.
So, what would make it spectacular?
Oh, just all the talent. I mean, I've gone. I think I've said before just how much talent's in the AFC, and just not knowing. Like the AFC is going to be a war of attrition in a lot of ways. And maybe I shouldn't use the word war, but it's going to be a game of attrition, a season of attrition in a lot of ways.
Oh, you mean you're talking about as just a football fan?
As a football fan,
I
yes.
got you. Okay.
Overall,
okay.
Yeah, I just like
no,
I say.
I thought you thought the Bears are like going on a long playoff run here or something.
No. I look for the Bears to win. I got them at 5 wins, 5-12.
I can see that.
I got them at 5-12. And it's only because the NFC is so bad. Otherwise, I haven't been like maybe 2 wins. But the NFC is not as strong a conference. And I think there's some games, the winnable games, that they can beat the Falcons. I think they can beat. I think they play the Jets this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can split with Detroit. And they might get lucky with the split with Minnesota. They might get lucky and catch San Francisco early.
We're going to split with Minnesota. I'm telling you. We always get them once. At least once.
We'll see. New regime. And I know it's weird, but new regime. So we'll see what happens. But I think, maybe we might even get lucky and get San Francisco because it's week 1. And Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
They should have beat San Francisco last year.
Should be Frisco, should be Pittsburgh. There's a couple of games they should have won, Hell, we beat the team that won the Super Bowl last year, and we picked them all 4 times.
Yes.
Go figure.
We did?
Not the team that won.
Not the team that won, the team that went.
We beat the
Bengals.
Cincinnati. That's right. That's right. We
And-
did. That's
and-
right.
And for a half, we looked good against the team that won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which is goofy. It's like the talent was here, just the coaching staff was just really bad. Really bad.
Hey, let's move on.
Speaking of contracts.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. What is going on here, man? He came out and basically said he wants Steve Nash and Brooklyn's GM fired for him to come back. And ownership came back and said, hey, they backed their management staff. They've given Kevin everything he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Pretty much.
They brought him in with Kyrie. They brought Harden over. They got rid of Harden when they wanted him to go.
I don't know if KD wanted that though, but
No, he did. He was the one that was saying that Harden wasn't doing nothing.
Was disgruntled.
Yeah.
Don't forget all the coaches that were on the staff that had connections to him. Royal Ivy, who we played with.
They
OKC.
They paid him. They paid him to rehab.
Right.
And now he wants to wait. He wants to go to Philly to go get back with Harden. I don't get it.
A lot of these reports are just off the wall, like the teams. Because when Kyrie wanted out, they said Philly was an option. Like, are you kidding me? like y'all just saying stuff, man. So some stuff I don't be buying, but like honestly, I get that the organization has done majority of what KD has said, or what it appears to be KD have wanted. If I'm Joe's side, I'm doing it again. Steve Nash is incompetent. He's not a good coach. I'm not saying whatever he wants, but this is the least of my concerns. Steve Nash is not a good coach. He's not.
Can't argue.
I mean,
the Boston series proved if nothing else did.
He's not. Like I get it. At some points, you got to hold your ground, but at least hold your ground when it's worth holding your ground.
Right.
Firing Steve Nash is not going to make you look bad as an owner.
No.
It just not. Like that's why I'm like, he actually giving you an easy task. Everyone in the world has said get rid of Steve Nash.
That's true too.
Everyone in the world have said it. Like, so that's why I'm like, I will do it if I'm him. I would do it. With Sean Marks, that one is a little tough. That one is a little tougher because although I don't agree with a lot of moves he made, but he's the one has done what KD has wanted. So him, I think, is a little tougher to let go because they got rid of the Jared Allen and all those guys to bring in Harden. That was something KD wanted. Even though they might have wanted Harden gone, I don't necessarily think KD was cool with the Ben Simmons addition. That's, I think, what has rubbed KD the wrong way. Ben Simmons, I think dude needs to just retire. He's gonna mess around and get jumped on by somebody and somebody locker room, because man, he's oh man, I don't know, but yeah, I think the Steve Nash request, I would have handled that right then and there. I'll say less.
If I remember right, when Steve Nash got hired, KD was one of the ones that was championing it, right?
Well, yeah, because they had an association with each other from the Golden State days.
Mm-hmm.
He was familiar with Steve Nash. He knew Steve Nash before he became when I say knew, he had a relationship with him to some degree before he even got to the Nets because of his time in Golden State.
So no loyalty there then, huh?
Well, there was initially. I mean, if you go back to Durant's statement, like right after they lost, and you go back to the statement, even before they lost, like back in April, he's like, Steve's been dealt a crazy hand these last 2 years. And this is him quoting, like he's had to deal with so much stuff as a head coach. First time head coach, trades, injuries, COVID.
Right.
It's just a lot of stuff to deal with. And he was saying he was proud of how focused and his passion, for the team. And it's like he was saying all those things. Even right after the loss, he pretty much, doubled down on that. And then something changed between like May.
That's why I'm like,
June.
this stuff be so off the wall, man.
Because at the end of June, he's like, hey, it's either them or me. But it's going to be tough to trade him because the Nets are like, they asking for like the world.
The world.
But
I would too.
No doubt. But here's the thing. Teams are going to be kind of iffy on giving you the world for a guy who had the serious injury he had with the Achilles, and he's 34.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's 30 or 28. He's 34. And you're talking about taking on that contract for the next 4 years. So you're talking about a 4-year, $198 million contract. And what you have to give up.
To me, only team
Phoenix
that could do it, to me, is
Miami.
No. Because you can't get a Bam in return, or you can't get a Devin Booker in return and from Phoenix. It'd be Boston. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but if I'm Boston, I don't know if I want to do that because
shit, I'm doing it in a heartbeat.
KD's not gonna play D like Jaylen will.
Hey.
And I'm sorry, who was in the finals last year? Was it the Nets or was it Boston?
I get it, but
why am I gonna help out Boston? I mean, why am I gonna help out the Nets if I'm Boston?
You ain't helping out the Nets if you Boston. You helping
beat
out
Durant.
the Nets. You're helping out Boston.
You beat Durant and Kyrie. So why would I want to give that up when these guys are playing they're on the upswing of their career? I'm catching the guy that even if he's at his apex.
Because you gotta beat Golden State.
You get that up because you beat Durant and Kyrie. But if Middleton is not out, they don't beat Milwaukee. They don't beat Milwaukee.
But we're not talking. We're talking about going forward. Going forward,
and as a team, I get it, Jaylen Brown. But as a team in Boston, see, Brooklyn don't have a Marcus Smart. Now, if Boston, because I think Brooklyn asked for Smart and.
That's what I'm saying. What else are you giving up? You're
not
giving up Brown.
I'm giving up Brown and White. I'm not giving up Brown and Smart. If I got to give up Smart, then it's over. No, I'm not doing it. You need Marcus Smart. Like, if you can give up Brown and White and Pigs, I'm doing it in a heartbeat.
But clearly that's not the case because it hasn't been done.
I know.
So if I'm Boston, I'm like, nah.
But I say that'll be the best bet for them. Or believe it or not, Nick Wright makes a great point in favor of New Orleans.
Wait, you agree with Nick
Wright? What did Nick say?
I don't typically agree with him, but he said if I'm Brooklyn, I ask New Orleans for Brandon Ingram not straight up. Brandon Ingram, who else he said? Couple other role player guys and picks because New Orleans has a ton of picks.
Yeah, they got a bunch of picks. Yeah,
they got a ton of picks. You get a growing superstar. Well, not
for the Nets.
For the Nets, you get Brandon Ingram, who you can build your franchise around, and you have those access of picks.
He don't want to go to New Orleans.
I mean, it don't matter where the hell he want to go. Yeah, he ain't got no trade clause.
Right, he got no trade clause. That's true. But he doesn't have a lot of leverage. Like the only leverage he kind of has is being an asshole. And that would be like, I'm going to play, but then, I need to sit out every third game or something like that.
But ultimately, I don't think anything
So if you're New Orleans, do you want to bring a guy that don't want to be there?
That's why New Orleans not going to do
it. Did Kawhi want to be in Toronto? He made that work.
But he was only there for a year.
He was on, He knew what deal was.
They knew what it was.
And he said, "Okay, I can win it and I can get out of there."
But ultimately, I don't think KD's going nowhere.
I don't think so.
And
either.
by the way, I wouldn't mind living in Toronto.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You said that. You said that before.
Yeah,
it's like Chicago North.
that's what it is. It's just cold. That's it.
It's a little bit cold. It's like Chicago North.
No, it's cold. It's colder. It's colder.
Chicago North.
Right.
On the other side of the wall. Game of Thrones.
Chicago is relatively balmy compared to Canada in the wintertime. But yeah.
But yeah, I say ultimately he's going to stay.
Yeah, well, Kyrie opted back into his contract for next year, so
there you go. Yeah. He had no choice.
So him and Kyrie have a shot to still do it.
All right.
Ben Simmons will be healthy,
and maybe Ben Simmons decides to play some basketball. Maybe. Yes.
Hey, did you guys see the NBA is retiring Bill Russell's number 6?
Yes, that was.
Yes, sir.
I was like number 6. I was like, why are you trying to dox number? You can tell what generation I'm from. Like, what trying to dox number? Yeah, Bill Russell. That's pretty awesome.
All the current guys can still wear it.
Yeah, so they're grandfathering all the players that wore the number as of last season. I think it's 25 players, including LeBron and Alex Caruso, DeAndre Jordan wore it for the Nuggets.
So what do you think? If you were a current player, would you be like, man, out of respect to Bill, I'm not going to wear anymore? Or would you be like, you know what, I'm going to try and carry what I think is a respectful, I'm gonna play respecting his number and his legacy. I'm gonna play to his respected level.
Mariano Rivera wore 42 until the end. So if he can wear Jackie Robinson's number that long,
he wore it to the probably no one better.
But we all know Yankee players are selfish, though, right, B?
Selfish.
I'm just tripping. I'm just messing with you.
Well, wait. We'll get on the captain at another time. But there was something I found interesting that we'll get on with when it comes to trusting new guys coming into the circle. But
yeah, say that for later. So yeah, KD. Hey man, I think KD comes across, and this is another situation or another example to me where KD comes across petulant, like for no reason. Like I don't like, dude. Like, how are you mad about getting what you want? I don't understand.
Constantly.
Yes, it's just like, why are you upset, dude? You're 2-time MVP. Why are you making a false Twitter account and clap back? Like, what? I don't. Dude, what are you, 12? Like, you just petulant. Like, I don't get it.
Title of this week episode needs to be self-sabotage.
that has been the theme so far.
And speaking of self-sabotage,
that's what's going on.
How about those White Sox? Speaking of self-sabotage,
man,
how about those White Sox?
This team, I've been, I've kept my mouth shut up until now. We're in August here. And it's been, hey, this team was picked to be a World Series contender. It's only May. They're going to be all right. It's only June.
Once they get healthy.
It's going to be okay.
Once everybody's back.
It's just the All-Star break.
Pitching's really good this
year. We're only 4 back at this point. We're fine.
I like that bullpen.
Oh, we're 2 back. Everything is going to be just okay. We got Kansas City.
Easy part of our schedule. The other teams in our division, we playing the hard part of this schedule.
How the hell you drop 3 out of 4 to a AAA team, man?
Yes.
How? And I get Tim is hurt.
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter, man.
Not against this team. It shouldn't matter.
You should win 3 out of 4 against the Kansas City Royals. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And this team, it's outside of the starting pitching, they just go through the motions. Mm-hmm. That's what I see out of this team. And it's just so frustrating.
No reactive energy that's like, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You know, put your foot down, F this, we about to beat these dudes. It's like, it's just not there. And we were talking about it today a little bit at the gig, and it was like, this was kind of off camera stuff. It was like, why are they going to Vaughn? Why are they going to Vaughn to ask questions?
You talk about the media.
Right, the media. Why is the media going to Vaughn to ask questions about what Cueto said or about the atmosphere of the locker room? And not saying that Vaughn has somebody that can talk on something, but it's like, he's not the leader on that team. He's the second year guy. You know, Abreu isn't like, how often have we seen him? And I'm not just talking about today. I mean, throughout the duration of the season.
The entire season.
Yes. How often have we seen Abreu address what's going on with the team? If not Abreu, you know, even Grandal to some degree.
And I get, man, here's the thing, man, with that. I know there's a language barrier. You know, I know they don't feel comfortable, speaking, but they have an interpreter.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing.
Billy's there.
Interpreter. Billy's there. But here's the thing. When they win a game and they're talking to Steve and Sony after the game about what they did, they're like, oh yeah, you know, I was this and you know, this and you know, blah, and they do the, you know, the interpretation for them, or Eloy is like, hey, and I did this, I did that, and you know, hi mom. Okay, I need you talking when things aren't going right. So how are you all in the locker room? How are you all going to address this? And they're not there. Like,
and that's what, you know, what people are talking about. Oh, yeah, who is the leader of this team? And I always said, well, I think, well, yeah, but how often is Tim when things are going bad? You don't hear from Tim.
Take for example, right quick, the Bulls. And I know it's a little bit different, it's a different sport, but the Bulls, win or lose, losing streaks, whatever, Michael Jordan. You go to Michael Jordan, he spoke. When Mike wasn't there, you went to Scottie Pippen, he spoke. You talk to the Bears, Urlacher may have been a bit of a mope, but he still went to the podium. You know what I'm saying? Or the quarterback.
No, he would give the one word answer sometimes.
Yes, I understand. I say he's a mope, but he went to the podium. Or you know, it might be Briggs, or it would be the quarterback.
I mean, even now with the Bulls, Zach is there.
Yes,
lose whatever.
Zach
talks and DeRozan. They both talk.
They're not going to you know, the second year guy.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to Caruso.
That's definitely who I want to hear from.
Or better yet, what's my guy from North Carolina? Kobe. They're not going to Kobe. Mm-hmm. You know, they're only going to Kobe because Zach is on COVID. DeRozan didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because those guys didn't. You know, they didn't play. Not when everyone was playing healthy. Or Vooch is like, or maybe they go to Vooch. You know what I'm saying? But we're not, and it's not like, I'm not saying that they always has to be a Abreu. I'm not always saying it has to be a Lloyd, but these are guys who've been there. These are the guys who are the ones, or Mikado. Like, I've never heard Mikado talk about anything.
That's like I said, especially when things aren't going right.
And him and Tim have been there the longest.
Yeah.
So it's and it's starting to show. I mean, the fact that Johnny Cueto came out and said, like, we need to play with heart.
We don't have no heart.
Not playing with heart. The same thing that Keuchel. Same thing Keuchel said.
Yes, Keuchel said it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was like, dude, when the pitchers who haven't been here, but had been on teams that have gone to a World Series, gone deep into playoffs, are like, look, this is missing.
Well, it gotta be when you pitch your ass off like Cueto did last night, like Cease did today, and you're not getting any run support. That's got to get to you at some point. Mm-hmm. And Cease played it cool today, but
right, you could tell.
How long? Yeah, how long does that last?
Right.
You wait. This dude is having
once in a lifetime kind of season.
Somebody told me. I think Nate told me today. Second half of this season, it's Dylan Cease and Bob Gibson.
Historically,
yeah. And
Verlander's like right up
ERA wise.
Yeah. Yes, it's been nuts. Like 0.56 or something.
Yeah.
In the last 14
it's being wasted.
He broke the record, and then he broke it again today, where he's had in his starts 14 consecutive starts or 1 or less runs. That's crazy. that's I can't even do that on a video game. I've tried. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yes. They're still 3-0. They're only 3.5 out. So
right.
It's not over. Thank goodness that though the Guardians did they took care of business against Detroit. But the Twins are slumping right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a shot. But at some point, it's just August. They can turn it on at some point.
Here's the thing: you have to ask yourself, what's their record? They're 500. There's 50 games left. They are a 500 team. They're going to go 25 down the stretch. and that's not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
Unless the Guardians lose like 2 or 3 key players and injury or something else does something to the Guardians and the Twins, and by default, the White Sox fall into being the worst first place team or whatever. They're not going to make it because they're not doing it. They're not taking the bull by the horns, as you would say. They just don't, because this is the time they should be doing it. They should be going on.
You got Kansas City and Detroit for 7 games. You should be what, 5-2? 6-1,
6-1, 5-2 at worst, right?
Yeah. And
just think, if they'd be in first place right now.
They'd be in first place, going to Houston.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty. It's over, man.
What'd you say, B? The title of this week's episode: Self-Sabotage.
Hey man, sucks. My Yankees ain't playing too hot either right now. So,
but they gave themselves a cushion enough to sustain.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with this dry spell. We were a little too hot. Too early.
Well, I would rather. You know what? I'd rather have it now.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say I'm not too gone by it. You know, so
dude, they've lost 8 of their last 9. They're 10 up.
About.
Dude, man. All right.
Well, hey, remember the White Sox?
They're fine. The 05 White Sox went on a big slump.
Horrible slump.
They were 15 up.
15 up.
They were 15 up, and it got down to a game and a half.
Yeah, game and a half.
Damn.
Right.
I didn't know it got that close.
It got to in late September. It got to a game and a half.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, it had. Now they were able to then go on a streak.
Was it 15-1? They went.
Or
11-1.
They won 11-1 in the playoffs, but it started
before the
week before the season ended. Right.
Yeah.
They beat. I think they swept Detroit.
Yeah.
And then they may have swept Cleveland going into the playoffs. Okay. Or maybe they won 3 out of 4, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah. But and then
they
were able to turn it on.
Because
Cleveland got to a game and a half. Right. So it better now. I would say that better now than in October. That's definitely not when you want it.
Well, I think the Yankees would be doing better if Judge wasn't being so selfish playing for that contract. I'm just messing with you.
Doing his part, goddamn.
Wait. I will say this: Yankee Stadium is such a terrible stadium. That's the only reason why he has what's he at 47 now? 47 homers
45.
In August.
45.
45? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just 45.
Come on, man.
About 3 or 4.
I don't trust those numbers just based on the ballpark.
He's a righty though.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the right field fence is only 315.
Yeah, right down the line. He's going right center.
we just messing with you, dog.
Oh, man. Hey, the Field of Dreams game just ended. Cubs beat the Reds 4-2 in the cornfields. I gotta admit, I thought they was gonna get a little played out. After last season. I saw the beginning of it where they come out of the corn again.
Griffey
both teams together. Yeah, Ken Griffey out there.
Griffey and his dad.
His dad and Johnny Bench and Ferguson Jenkins and Andre Dawson, Sandberg, Lee Smith, all those guys. That's pretty damn cool, man. I have to admit that.
And I'll say this: the Cubs unis. Yeah. I actually like those.
I didn't.
Huh?
I don't like them.
No.
Oh
my God! I thought those were sweet, man.
I thought they looked too much like the Reds.
I agree.
And the numbers on the back, they're Boston's numbers.
I couldn't tell them apart at first. When I first turned it on, because I turned it on late, I thought the Reds was winning. I thought the Reds was winning 4-0. I'm like, they definitely looked a lot alike.
If I were, and I know why they did it, because it probably the color pop more with them wearing the cream with the red logo on it. But talking about the Cubs, but I feel like it should have been, since they were the road team, it should have been a gray with the Chicago.
I mean, I don't understand why they didn't do
print on it.
The Yankees were gray last year.
Yeah. I just thought that would have looked cooler.
I guess we're used to wearing gray. I mean,
I was gonna say it's kind of a Yankee thing though. But dude, I don't know. I like the old Cubby hat and the old
the hat's cool. I give you that. The hat's cool. I didn't like the Reds cap. I didn't like that.
Well, I'm not talking about the Reds. I mean, as far as the Cubs, like if the Cubs, like, we got the South Side unis.
Yeah.
But the Cubs, like, city unis look crappy.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Right. If they had these as their city unis, I'd like it a little bit better.
No.
I do. I just like that. I like the nostalgia. To me, I'm like, when I saw the uni, I was like,
I'll give you that. If I wasn't such a Cub hater, I would get that hat. I can't be seen with a Cub hat. Can't do it. Can't do it. But no, the game was cool. Mm-hmm. And with that, on the heels of the Field of Dreams game, what's you guys' favorite sports movie? You have to pick one favorite sports movie.
So it doesn't matter the sport?
It doesn't matter the sport.
Okay, favorite sports movie. Doesn't matter the sport.
What are you going with?
Which one can I watch over and over and over again? Do you know yours?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, yes. So what's yours? That might help trigger mine.
If I had to pick just one movie that I can just watch whenever it comes on, I'm glued on the screen. It's North Dallas 40.
Really?
Who?
Yeah, North Dallas 40.
Before your time, youngster.
Dallas 40.
North Dallas 40. It came out the year I was born, 1979. It stars Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte, yeah.
And it's basically it's a movie that's based on a book written by former Dallas Cowboy Peter Gent, and it basically documents I guess it would be the 60s Cowboys.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get the licensing from the NFL because it divulged a lot of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's North Dallas, not Dallas.
Right.
And they were the Bulls, not the Cowboys. But outstanding movie. That really took you inside of what life was like as a football player back then, and probably still somewhat to this day in many aspects.
I already know what Smoke's favorite sports.
What you think?
I'll do it. Hoosiers. At your heart.
Hoosiers.
I think Hoosiers is one of the most overrated overrated movies of all time.
I'm messing with your dog.
Oh man.
Do you know yours yet, B?
I'm really trying to think because I love sports movies. Like I love them. And like
It's tough because I got a few, but you want the
I
best
got
one.
I got a few.
Throw some out there.
I got a few.
Throw some out
But
there.
I'll say see, it's two that's stuck in my head right now that I know a lot of people probably either don't really remember or definitely wouldn't say.
Okay.
And it's between Major League back to the minors.
Whoa.
The third one?
The third one.
The Scott Bakula one.
Back to the minors.
Yeah, the Scott Bakula one. Right.
Okay.
And Summer Catch.
Freddie Prinze Jr. That's actually a pretty good movie.
Never heard of that.
The Cape
so
Cod
that
movie.
one is about Cape Cod.
Yeah.
And Back to the Minors, of course, is about Back to the Minors. Those two, to me, give you a true feel of baseball. In my eyes, it's not like a. And you know another one that I was just. But I was just about to say, Bull Durham. I will probably add to that list too.
Okay.
But if I had to pick, I'll choose Major League Back to the Minors. That's one movie to this day. I remember the day and where I was and who I was with when I went to go see that movie. Me and my dad went to go see that movie just off the spare of the moment. Like, it's a baseball movie, why not? And I remember it to this day. If it's on, I'm going to watch it.
That's what I actually do. It's not my favorite of the major leagues. Obviously, the first one is, but if it's on, I'm watching it. No doubt about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a few, like I said, in the vein of showing my age. Brian song, the original one, with Billy D. Williams and James Caan.
Okay.
R.I.P. Mr. James Caan.
I love Brian Piccolo.
I love Brian Piccolo. Because that one, man, every time I see that, that's the first movie, like it gets like every time and just get like a little bit of a tear and be like, man, dog. But as a kid, for me, I was too young to see Gale Sayers play, but I just heard how great he was. So for me, I felt like I watched Gale Sayers play because of the highlights they showed that movie where Gale's just doing things. I'm like, man, dude, I would love to have actually really watched him play. And to have actually have met Gale Sayers was like cool, as you know, so it's like, man, I finally get to see the dude who I saw as a kid, you know. So that was pretty cool. So for me, the original Brian song, I didn't see the remake, but I didn't need to because the original for me is the one.
The remake was
yeah, I didn't hear a lot of good things. I didn't hear anything spectacular about it. The other ones, Remember the Titans. Every time that's on, I will watch it. Sunshine. I'll always watch that one. There's a Washington, I can't go wrong, you know. But I thoroughly enjoy that movie. And I've never watched The Big Lebowski, but for me, the bowling movie is Kingpin. It's just stupid, but I enjoy it. And whenever it's on, I always watch it. And for me, sometimes comedies they stop being funny because
I've never thought of Kingpin as a sports movie, but I guess it is.
Well, bowling isn't really a sport, if you ask me. It's a competition. But you know, I'll say it's a sport because you know, anytime you can drink and do something, I don't know if I'd really call it a sport. But for me, Kingpin, it was just the one thing in there to me where I was like, yes, that's it. It's like when you hear a strike, you know it. Like when you hear a person who's striking, you almost like the crack of a bat. Like you he put the barrel on that one. Like you can tell, like, no, he can hit the ball or he can pitch it. You can hear the snap in the glove. To me, when in the bowling lane, there's certain strikes where you be like, it'll make your head turn. You're like, well, who threw that? You know, no, do it again. You know, you follow the sound, like, okay, and you watch, you're like, man, you know. So yeah, those are probably the three sports movies where I'll watch it every time.
Oh, go ahead.
I got one that was also on my mind, and now that I'm thinking about with Major League, with Back to the Minors and Summer Catch and all the movies, I'm like, you know what? It's a trend with me. Mighty Ducks is one of my favorite
I saw that
trilogies, but the third
one is actually a really good movie.
The third one is the best one to me because it's not all that feel good stuff from start to finish. They're actually getting their asses kicked, handed to them early. They're not the big men on campus, like they're on JV, like, and they have to earn their way, and like, I love that type of stuff, man. It gives a more realistic feel.
The one thing I didn't get about that movie though was their first game. The first game on JV, they go 10-0.
And end up
they end up blowing
the lead. A tie or something like that.
No, they lost. They lost.
They did lost. They did. Lost.
Yeah. How does that happen?
Especially in hockey, you don't even think that.
I didn't think that was realistic. But no, it's actually
called Mighty Ducks.
It's a good movie though. I hated the second one.
I never saw any of them.
I love the. You never saw.
I don't want to.
Yeah, you're a little old. By the time that came out, I would have probably thought weird of you if you were watching Mighty Ducks.
Well, I watched Little Giants. I watched Little Giants.
Right, because Little Giants is a good one too. I got a ton of sports movies.
Smoke Summer Catch. One of my favorite movie scenes is the final scene of Summer Catch.
When he
gets to the majors,
when Griffey take him,
he gives up the homer to Griffey, and he had that look on his face like, damn. But he was like, man, I'm in the show though.
I'm here. I made it. I made it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask Smoke this because this movie is way before your time. Did you ever see Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars?
Ooh.
Take the flight.
That's one that needs to be on your list.
That needs to be on your list, brother.
I think I did, but I don't.
No. You can't think, man. Either
I don't know the title.
Either you did or did not. It's Billy D. Williams. It's basically it's a Negro League team, and Billy D. Williams, right. Richard Pryor, James Earl Jones.
No. I didn't see that. It's another one that's Negro League based that I always get that one confused with.
Josh Gibson in it, and
Delroy
Lindo.
I always get that one mixed up with
it was an HBO movie.
Yeah, it was an HBO movie. Something of the Game, I think, or something like that. But it was Delroy Lindo played Satchel Paige.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I forget who played Josh and who played
the guy that played Bubba Gump.
Right.
Yes.
He played Josh Gibson.
He played Josh Gibson. And Blair Underwood was Jackie Robinson.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. It was an HBO movie.
I always when people ask me, have I seen Bingo Long? And I always think of that movie, and it's not the same. So
I love that movie when I was a kid, man, and it's been long. I haven't seen it in an extremely long time, but yeah, I remember going to the movies, the Normal Theater on the South Side, to check out on the 19th and
that movie. It holds up, man.
Yeah.
It holds
up. Dude, look at the actors who are in it.
Yeah.
He's talking some all-time greats, Well, but yeah, man, put that one on your list, bro.
Got it.
It definitely holds up. And then I was telling Glenn the other day, one that you guys should check out is I think MLB Network. It's a documentary on MLB Network called After Jackie. And it talks about the second generation of black baseball players, and that got to the major. So Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Ernie Banks, those guys, Frank Robinson. But then it also it mostly focuses on the 1960s Cardinals. And so they talk about, we brought up Bob Gibson earlier, Kurt Flood. Who is they had a first base, right? Lou Brock. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me. Who did they bring up? They had a first. I forget his name. I shouldn't. But anyway, but they talk about these guys' struggles. We talk about Jackie Robinson breaking the color bear and everything he went through, but the second generation went through some things too. It didn't just, everything just wasn't hunky dory. After the first guys came, I'm talking about Jackie and Larry Doby and those guys. Yeah. Well,
and now in this generation, can't
even get right. So, and they did they were able to interview Bob Gibson. They got some really good stuff from him. I guess it must have been right before he passed, because he passed in 2020, I think. So yeah, definitely
check that out.
Put that on your list.
And as we're talking, people can't see, but the hat you're wearing right now that's Negro League.
Oh, Chicago, Chicago American Giants.
Giants.
Yeah.
I love the team. I actually I did a believe it or not, I think I was in 6th grade. I did a history project on the Chicago American Giants, Rube Foster and all of them. So yeah.
God.
So and we've talked about this before on here. I got to get to Kansas City and see the Negro League Museum. That's on my list. I gotta go do that.
Crazy coaching for the ACE program. Teams go to Kansas City every year. Why have my teams never been? I don't know. Everyone else has been, but I've never been. As far as my team,
you got to tell them we got to go.
Yeah, but no, everybody be there. They be at the museum, and I'm the only one that has never been to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So maybe this year we'll see.
I gotta make that happen, because I've heard nothing but good things about that place. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you guys very much. It's good to see you guys again, man. It's been too long.
Yes, sir, man.
Don't forget before we end it, next week we're going to talk about the captain.
The captain. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got one episode to go. It premiered tonight, so we'll take a look at that. And the first 6 episodes are really good. So
for those of you who don't know, the captain is about
Derek Jeter.
There we go.
Number 2.
The greatest Yankee of all time.
Arguably.
Number 2. And he once said hello to me.
There's a story there.
Very true. I've told that story.
Oh, you have, but it's a good time to retell it.
Yeah. I'll tell it next week. Hey, that'll do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. Thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it. We don't take your listens lightly. You can catch our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. I'm sure I missed a couple there.
We're on all platforms, baby.
It's been a while. All platforms.
Whatever platform you got, just check for us.
You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast, as well as the Father Good podcast hosted by Marshall Givens and Kenny Stevenson, and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs. I've never said that in that order. It's usually the Duper podcast and then the Father Good podcast. I put Father Good first. Shout out to Marshall. Yeah, I did that. Yo, Glenn.
Yes, sir.
Please take us out.
Hey, like we always say, we ain't saying we're right. We just don't think we're wrong.
We'll catch you next week.
Peace.
Peace.